Hello dear students, today's video is about punctuation marks. So when we talk about punctuation marks are these small elements that you need to include at the moment of writing. Why is punctuation important? Punctuation marks, for example, the comma and period, can help you to organize your text. It's important to know how to use them to write short texts or short paragraphs. Okay, so we are going to start working on the first punctuation mark called the comma. The comma is a punctuation mark that has four important aspects, four rules. Number one, you can use commas to separate words in a list of 3 or more elements. For example, I need to buy pencils, comma, books, comma, and a pencil case. So when you have a list of things, objects, any type of list, you need to use commas. The second rule is that normally we use a comma to separate independent sentences. Independent sentences is when you have two different sentences and you have a connector. For example, but, an, or, but, pero, and, y, or, o. For example, I want to buy a car, comma, but I don't have money. So the comma is before the connector. The third rule is to separate introductory elements. In Bogota, there are many places to visit. So this is an introduction of the sentence and you need to include a comma. Number 4, dates. For example, my birthday is on February the 2nd. In this case, we need to include a comma when you have a date. Okay, so the second punctuation mark that you are going to learn today, it's about period. The period has 3 important rules. Number 1 is to show that a sentence has an end. So when you have a complete sentence, you need to use a period at the end. For example, we are going to the mall today. The second rule is to show an abbreviation. For example, we are celebrating Saint Valentine's Day. So this is the abbreviation of Saint. Number 3 is as a decimal point. So when you have, for example, $42 period 99 is when you have a decimal number. In that case, we need to use a period. So why is the period important? Here you need to use a period at the end of the sentence and each sentence will run into the next. So when you write a paragraph with no periods, so it will create confusion for the reader. For example, I visit my friend in the city. She lives with her mom. They rent an apartment on the south side of town. We had a nice visit. I hope I can return next year. My God, there are no periods. You need to include periods to stop and start sentences. For example, I visited my friend in the city, period. She lives with her mom, period. They rent an apartment on the south side of town, period. We had a nice visit, period. I hope I can return next year, period. As you see, when you include periods is to stop one idea and start a new idea. Okay? So in this moment, it's time to practice. You are going to download the writing workshop part 3, and you are going to do activity number 1 at home in your house. So you have to read Alex's profile and identify the commas and periods that you can see in the text. Finally, you have to complete the table with examples of commas and periods. That's it. Thank you so much for your attention. If you need me or if you have any questions, please write an email.